going to be asking you guys to participate with me, answer some questions, hit a couple of polls. We've also got a couple of really cool spots in here where actually I'm going to take your information, your LinkedIn profiles that maybe you've already started, or maybe generate something brand new for you. And hopefully by the end of this, you guys all feel a little bit better about using LinkedIn and what we have going on here. So my name is Brian Naus. I'm the career success coach for Souls College of Business. I've been in my role for just over 3 years now. Been excited to be a part of this. I am having a great time doing events and career fairs, but one of my favorite things to do is talk to you guys and actually do some presentations on a topic related to career success. So for today, what we're going to be talking about is online profiles, specifically how to use the most popular online profile that there is out there for job hunters right now, and that's LinkedIn. Now, a lot of the things I talk about today can be cross-applied across the board in other areas. For example, your Handshake profile, and even sometimes on other social media sites if you're considering that a professional platform. But all the things that we talked about today, if you have any questions as we go, feel free, reach out to me, put something in the chat, put it in the Q&A section. I'll have a scheduled 60-second break right in the middle. And then after that 60-second break, we will actually get through the rest of it, save your thoughts for the end, and we'll have a time to share there as well. So let's get started, guys. So this is our career success team. You'll see at the top there, we have our director and executive director, Leah Velarde and Rosemary Cooper, myself, the career success coach for the Souls College of Business, but every single one of our schools and colleges on campus has a career success coach. So Gabby Vasquez, she's over the School of Nursing and School of Health Profession students. Margot Purdy is in the College of Engineering. Pam Rodriguez, the College of Education and Psychology, and Amy Swindell, College of Arts and Sciences, and Fish College of Pharmacy. We've got all sorts of things that we can meet and talk to you guys about. Going into Handshake, you can set up an appointment for anything you see there on the left side of the screen, from career assessments to exploring your major to mock interviews or resume reviews, anything that we can do to help you be the best candidate possible or help you along your career journey, we're happy to do so. If you want to talk to your career success coach after today about your LinkedIn profile, that general career coaching is probably your best option on there. Select that. It'll reserve an hour, 45 minutes or so in our schedule for you to be able to jump in and talk to your career success coach about those appointments. So let us know in the chat if you've got any questions about who your coach is or where you're going after this. To get us started, I do want to have a quick intro poll just to kind of gauge where everybody is at as far as our LinkedIn confidence goes. So how confident are you in using LinkedIn? How complete is your LinkedIn profile based on what you've already done? And how strong is your current LinkedIn network? So if you guys have a second, you can see that poll that's posted there. Post that answer on the poll there and we will get started. All right, already getting some answers in. Good, good, good. You'll notice on that second section that you can actually select multiple choices. So if you've created a profile, you have a professional headshot, you've connected with peers and professionals, you've posted and reposted on the platform, all of those things, you can hit every single one of those options that's available to you. We got about 30 more seconds on this and then we'll keep going. And while I've got you here for a minute, I do want to emphasize that everything that I'm showing you guys on my LinkedIn profile today and all the things that we're talking about, totally available on every platform or on every type of account, a free account, a paid premium membership for LinkedIn, all of the things we show you today, I'm using a free account for. So if you guys are wondering about should I get a premium feature to access the things in today's presentation, no need at all. All right, let's take a look at those results. So on how confident people are using LinkedIn, we've got one who's at like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. I hope that you can still learn something today. I've got a couple of really cool ideas in here that I think should optimize. Maybe if you are at that 9 out of 10, we can get you closer to that 10 out of 10. Most of us in here, 7 out of 10, are in that somewhat confident range. They've got a pretty good handle on it, but could probably learn a little more. Then 1 out of the non-confident, not very confident using the platform before. And then we actually have one person who's never been exposed to LinkedIn. So hopefully today you get a good understanding of how to use the platform and what we use it for. As far as how complete is that profile, 7 out of 10 here say that we've got a profile. 5 out of 10, so half of us who answered down here have a professional headshot. It's 5 out of 10 on filling out their profile with relevant information. Another 7 out of 10 for connecting with peers and professionals. Another 5 out of 10 have actually posted or reposted, been active on the platform. And then there's that one again, never created a profile. Hopefully we can figure that out. If you're that one who's never created a profile and you're open to sharing that, drop it in the chat for me. Let me know that you guys are who you are, and maybe we could work with you specifically today on one of the areas. And then how strong is your current LinkedIn network? No connections. We got 1 out of 8. We've got mild, so 1 to 50 connections for 2 of them. We've got moderate, 50 to 100. We've got hot, 100 to 150. And then we got fire. We got people with 500 plus connections on here. 3 of y'all have 500 plus connections. That's awesome to see. Awesome to see. So now we've got a better understanding of where everybody is at. Let's go ahead and jump into the presentation. So why even use LinkedIn in the first place? So LinkedIn is a huge platform. There's over 1 billion users on the platform across more than 200 countries all around the world. I think I also read somewhere that up to 26 languages are supported on the platform as well. And so people all over the universe, all over our known world market of getting jobs and finding jobs and getting connected are using this platform. The largest demographics are actually here in the United States, followed second by India. And also, many recruiters are on the platform. Now, I've seen this number go up and down. The latest number that I was able to find is that 87% of recruiters are actively using LinkedIn on a regular basis to help hire for their open positions. And the largest age group in this demographic is actually just above what we usually see for our demographic here in college, which is that 25 to 34-year-old demographic, followed really closely by our 18 to 24 bracket. So it is a younger platform, people who are a little bit more, a little less Luddite, people who are more familiar with technology are more likely to be on the platform. At any given moment, there can be up to 22 million or more job opportunities posted on the platform all across the world. Every 6 minutes, somebody in the United States is hired through a LinkedIn job post, or 6 people are hired every minute, not every 6 minutes. Every minute, so every 10 seconds, somebody from LinkedIn found a LinkedIn job posting, applied, and got hired for that role. And one of the things outside of LinkedIn, but still fairly connected to it, is we're seeing a lot of jobs lately that are filled through some level of networking, connection, or referral. Now, this 80 to 85 number, it's a very pretty number. I think that it's more about the idea than the number itself. I would say more than 50% is probably a good bet if I had to put money on it. More than 50% of the people who I'm talking to who are finding work on a regular basis are not just sending out applications online based on what they're finding on the platform. They're actually taking that extra step, taking those extra miles and saying, I want to see if I'm connected with anybody at this institution. And I'm going to show you guys how you can do that using the platform today. So building a powerful profile is the first place I would start for anybody who's interested in getting started on LinkedIn. If you're my one individual who's never been on the platform before, that's where I would recommend that we go today, is to make sure that you have a profile that you're most proud of. It doesn't look like we found who that one person is. I hope you don't stay too shy and you can actually pop up in the chat here in a minute and tell me about that. So building this powerful profile. There's different parts to your profile that everybody should have at least some information on, or consider adjusting if you already have a profile. First, that professional headshot. It needs to be a plain headshot, nobody else in it, just you, hopefully done by a professional who's in a professional setting. Or if you guys don't know already, you can actually get your professional headshot done for free on the 3rd floor of the University Center anytime that you want. The photo booth is up there right outside of UC 3150, our career success offices, on the 3rd floor of that University Center. If you're one of our remote students and you're in town, that's a great place to be able to come in. Or if you're one of our students at the Houston campus, hopefully you can find something similar as well. But if you're able to be in Tyler and go to that photo booth, it's an awesome opportunity to get a professional headshot. Next is your headline. This is the first bit of information that shows up at the top of your page besides your name. I'll show you guys in just a minute that headline that I'm talking about. And then your about section, where you get to actually express almost like a cover letter, or in a way, more of a resume or a CV, where you get to talk about your accomplishments and the things that you're good at. Then you have your experience section, very akin to what we see on a resume. You can spice it up and make it more professional for what you're doing on a public profile level. You can also add your volunteering experience. You can customize your URL so it's easier for people to find you and for you to share your link with people. You can add skills. Right now on a free account, I'll show you in just a minute, you can add up to 100 skills to your profile that will attract employers who are looking for people with those skills. Then licenses and certifications, if you have any of those through your major or through your program, or even extracurricular that you're doing on Coursera through a micro-credential. And of course, recommendations. Who is recommending you for these roles? Completed profiles. Guys, this is super important. Completed profiles are 40 times more likely to land a job. And LinkedIn does a great job of showing you from step 1 all the way to step 0 how you need to be doing a complete profile. So jump on, complete your profile if you haven't already, and let's actually jump over right now to my profile. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of the information that I've put on there. Hopefully you guys can see the same thing. And then after this, hopefully we can jump into another individual's profile, somebody who's here in the chat. So y'all be ready to start volunteering, and we'll jump in and we'll take a look at your profile and see what could we optimize possibly with your about section. So give me just a second. I'm going to switch over to my screen here. So here we are on my profile. Now, you'll see here at the top, I've got this banner image in the back that I've actually created in Canva. Super easy to go do. Veronica, I see you in the chat. Can't wait to work with you on that. You'll see I've got my professional headshot here. Now, usually I don't have my beard, but that particular day I did. I was growing it out for another occasion. So I've got to get that updated so that people know. In fact, just the other day, I had somebody walk up and say, I haven't seen you without a beard in so long. And it's because all they see me on is my LinkedIn profile. Right here, you have my name. I always get questions about what name should I put on there. If you have a nickname or you go by something else, I usually say put the name that's on your resume. Put the name that you go by professionally, and that's probably going to be your best bet. And then right underneath that, we've got our headline. That's all of this text right here above my location and contact information. So career coach, creative, nonprofit theater arts leader, and a career success coach at Souls College of Business for UT Tyler. So all of this information I was very intentional about putting on here. I wanted to make sure that if anybody who was from UT Tyler in Souls College of Business needed to find their career success coach on LinkedIn, they could type that in the search bar and my name would pop up here. Just as a brief aside, I want to show you guys really quick what happens whenever I search for a certain name. So if I go, or for a certain industry. So if I'm looking at a project manager role, I'm looking for project managers and I go to my people tab here. You'll notice something very consistent between all of these potential connections that I have over here. Project manager, senior consultant and project manager, Emmanuel Flores, project manager. Travis here is a project manager at Terracon. So the information that I typed up here in the search bar, the headline is what drew these accounts to the top of my list. Of course, having connections with them, mutual connections is a good thing. Having a similar location, looking in the Tyler, Texas area. In fact, if I didn't want to look in Tyler at all, and I wanted to kind of get outside of my connections, maybe I go to the Dallas, Texas area, and I look for that same thing. I've got a project manager. You'll see in Dallas, Texas, we got a project manager. Dallas, Texas, a senior project manager. Dallas, Texas, a marketing project manager down here. Lots of different things that come up whenever I type in that word project manager there at the top. So keep that in mind that if you're going to put something in your headline, it needs to be the thing that if I look up anybody in that area, they can find me. So if somebody looks up career coach in Tyler, Texas, I hope that my name pops up there at the top. Scrolling down, you'll see my about section here. In my about section, a couple of key things that I do. I try to introduce a couple of skills that I really, really identify with. So communication, leadership are bolded here at the top of the page where people can see it. Coaching is on here. Not only that, the types of people who I work with, my students, my teammates, and my community. In my free time, I have a little bit about what I do and other skills that I gather out of my independent study and out of my volunteer work. And then I've listed 3 accomplishments of things that I'm proud of over the last couple of years. So leading and planning the execution of career development events for 2,500 plus students in the Souls College of Business, building and sustaining employer partnerships across Texas, and serving on the board of directors for the local civic theater. All of these things I'm super proud of and want to have in my about section. And we can talk in just a minute about how we can make your about section look just as good, if not better. One thing that you don't have to do, but I certainly will, is I put my email down here. Now, it does mean every now and then I get a little bit of spam email. That's fine. I'm always really good at finding those fish alerts and making sure that those are reported. But on the other side, I do have the ability for employers in the community to reach out to me directly if they're interested in talking about hiring somebody from UT Tyler and hiring our talent. Down here, I've got my activity. You'll see where I've posted things recently. You'll see our leveraging LinkedIn post over here. I've also got some awesome job postings that I repost on a regular basis so that people know what's going on in the community and how many jobs are actually out there in this area. I've got my experience section. Same as we were talking about earlier. Looks a lot probably like my resume would look if I was writing out my experience section. And I've got all of my experience from UT Tyler, Tyler Junior College, and more. I've got my education on here with my bachelor's degree, licenses, certifications, volunteer work I do at the theater, and then here's that list of 100 skills that I can go to. I recommend putting as many skills in as you can. I would hate for you guys to miss the opportunity that was of a lifetime because they didn't see that you had that skill in your interest area here at the bottom. So that's what a complete profile looks like. Now, I just saw in the chat a couple of people dropping a message with their LinkedIn profiles and volunteering. I think the first one who put their hand up was Veronica. Veronica, are you still here? Oh, let me see if I can get you unmuted in the chat there. All right, you are here. Awesome. Now, Veronica, I'm going to allow you to talk over here. Can you unmute your microphone and say hello for everybody?
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming in and joining us today. So, Veronica, I want to look at your LinkedIn profile. Do you already have one set up?
I do, and I can post the link right here in the
Okay,
chat.
go right
There
ahead.
it is.
Perfect. All right, Veronica, let's take a look at your profile. The section that I want to really look at today is your About section. Now, before I take a look at it, tell me, Veronica, how do you feel about your section, about your profile as it stands?
I um I feel like I've gotten pretty far, but it still doesn't feel like I'm completely doing the right thing in some
Okay.
parts. Um,
Sure, sure.
yeah.
So let's take a look. I really want to see there's a couple of areas. Your headline right here says designer, writer, psych undergrad. Now, I would recommend just off the top, if you're going to put the thing that you're studying right now to change that word to student, it's much more popular for somebody to look up psych student or something along those lines, and maybe even spelling out psychology here for an opportunity for you to be able to get the look that you're looking for. And I have to ask this question, are you still a psychology undergraduate student?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Because if this was outdated, that would be the first thing that we would need to update, right? All
Right.
right. So take a look here in your About section. I've got, hi, I'm Veronica. We've also got some cool little emojis here to pull some visual appeal. I love that. I'm a psychology student and designer with way too many browser tabs open. I love the humor. I love the personality. I'm usually too deep into research and sketching out ideas for whatever I'm building next. I design brands and websites, build digital experiences that feel intuitive and human. I use my background in psychology to think about how people should move through these experiences and what helps them feel understood. Awesome. My goal is to blend design and psychology in a way that helps people feel supported on multiple levels. Right now, I'm gaining experience in both fields and laying the foundation for a path that help, that lets me help people through both. For fun, I'm usually reading something that makes me think a little deeper and writing when I need to get out of my own head. I love spending time with my family and our two Labradors and exploring new places. Would love to see a picture of your Labrador someday. Not right now, but in the future. And then anything that makes me feel present and inspired. Reach out anytime. I'm always open for good conversations and meaningful collaborations. I love this About section. I would say if I had to give this a rating, this is like a 9 out of 10. It gives me a lot of skills that you bring to the table, building websites, designing brands, digital experience. It tells me a little bit about who you are, and it even adds that sense of personality and humor as you go. So if I was to add anything to this, one thing that I would consider adding is adding 3 quick accomplishments that you could bullet point in here for somebody to say, this is the type of impact that Veronica could have. So thinking about your work experience, thinking about the things that you've done up to this point, give me an example of a accomplishment that you've reached, something a little measurable, something really cool that comes off on your profile.
Okay, probably my internship, my psychology internship that I just
Okay,
had, where I was
awesome.
able to do outreach and design at the same time.
Perfect. So here we are. I'm on a Microsoft Copilot. This is a real quick demonstration on how we could possibly use an AI tool to boost up our profile and make it look twice as good, just with a little bit of extra help. And so I'm wanting to add a section to my About section. Let's change that. Let's change this to a bullet point. Bullet point in my About section that demonstrates to potential recruiters my experience from a recent internship. So I'm going to add this here. So this is your current About section. So read my current About section below from my LinkedIn profile. And give me a few alternatives that I could use that express the things I learned in that internship. So as I'm going in here and learning about what I've done and possibly even going into some new perspectives on what I might be able to change in the future, I can see option one, option two, option three, all of these different options that as we jump into what that internship actually was, you can see some examples of ways that you might want to be able to write and add that information. It even goes the extra mile, and to keep it consistent with what you have so far, adds in some potential emojis that you can use along the way. Isn't that cool, Veronica?
It is.
So you could go here and you could find one of these that you say, man, that actually really stands out to me. And I think that that's something I could really dive into a little bit closer and learn about maybe how I could possibly present that internship in a new light, in a new way, right there at the top of my about section, where somebody who wanted to know about that internship could see that. Do you think that's something that you could do after today's session?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, you got it. You got it. I hope that was helpful. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being on there. Let's see if we can keep going with this presentation. I want to make sure we get all the information across. And I'm going to jump back over here to my Zoom. Here we go. All right. Beautiful. Everybody, let's give it up for Veronica. Give her some woohoos in the chat. Let her know she did a great job. All right, let's keep going. All right, LinkedIn etiquette. So one of the things that I've heard most of the issues that come off of the LinkedIn profiles is I don't know what I should be putting on here. I don't know what I should be posting. I don't know how I should be commenting. And as long as you keep these three rules in mind, I cannot think of anything that could go wrong. Right. So as long as you are on LinkedIn and you're keeping things positive, keeping it polite, and keeping it professional, I think that you guys are going to find that you can interact on the platform just as good as anybody else. So when posting, commenting, or messaging somebody else, kip, KIP, KIP. Keep it positive. Avoid negativity, avoid negative language, avoid complaining, and avoid slanderous language. The last thing that I would want to see as a potential employer is somebody complaining about a previous employer on this platform. Keep it polite. Avoid rude, harsh, or judgmental language. If you have a hard time with doing that, maybe you're just you're that INTJ. You've got the J right at the end of your Myers-Briggs 16 personalities, and you just can't avoid that judgment sometimes. Filter some of your comments and posts through an AI tool and say, hey, does this sound too harsh? Does this sound like it's actually coming across in a negative light? Always keep it polite. And then finally, keep it professional. Avoid discussions on topics that are outside of your career, of your field, and of things that are going on in the world in that industry. I have a couple of people, love them to death. They're some of my best students. They've gone off to do great things. And I can't follow them on LinkedIn anymore because of the types of stuff that they're posting on there. I don't want to see that show up on my feed. I don't want to accidentally repost that stuff. So always keep it polite, keep it professional, and keep it positive. So as we start thinking about posts, as you're building a post, you can use AI tools to help out here as well. So just to show you an example, I've already generated a chat that I've got going on over here on my Copilot. So here we go. Let's go back to that screen and you guys can see what I'm talking about. So over here on Copilot, I'm going to start a new chat here. As I'm over here, I'm going to paste really briefly. Oh, goodness. I'm going to post the prompt that I was just working on today. Oh, my prompt ran away from me. Oh, well. So something along the lines here of wanting to create a post about my leveraging LinkedIn event today. And I'll even say, keep it positive, keep it polite, and keep it professional, just to see what it generates for me. So as a starting point, if I needed to post something today, let's see what it's got. It's always a privilege to support professionals in building their personal brand, expanding their network, and unlocking new opportunities through LinkedIn. Whether you're just starting out or refining your online presence, there's always room to grow. All of these great hashtags are at the bottom to be able to get those SEO, the search engine optimization going, and hopefully get some eyes on that post. That's an easy way for me to get started. Then from there, I'm a good writer. I like to trust my own voice on here. This would give me kind of an outline of how I could possibly attack building that post. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to post something that I generated in AI that I worked on today, that I added my own voice to. And if you guys jump over to my profile after we're done today, you can follow that post. You can repost it. You can like it. You can comment below. I would love to see how you guys practice interacting on the platform over there. Okay. All right. So thinking about what we've done so far, Now we've looked at how to post, how to build our profile out, ways that we could possibly use AI tools to help along the way. I want you guys to think about those things, maybe look at your own profile for a minute. Go ahead and take a nice 60-second break here. If you guys have joined in late, you haven't been able to scan that QR code, go ahead, scan that QR code and get checked in. If you're unable to check in with the QR code, maybe you're actually looking at it on your phone right now, go ahead and put your Patriots email in the chat, and from there, we can get you checked in. So you guys take 40 seconds, stretch, roll your shoulders a little bit, look away from your screen for a second. Take a nice deep breath with me. And if you're like me and you've been talking for the last half hour, maybe you need a sip of water too. Cool trick. If you need to look away for just a minute, I like to say look away for 20 feet for 20 seconds. It's a good way to reset your eyeballs, get everything going and ready to go. All right, there goes our 60 seconds. Hope everybody was able to come back and you're feeling nice and relaxed. So quick refresher on the things that we've learned so far in our presentation today. I'm going to throw up another poll here and let's see who gets the information right. Here we go. All right, you guys take a look here. Which of these is not a section on a LinkedIn profile? Feel free, use your tools that you've got. This is an open book exam. You can go look at my profile, look at your own profile, and see which of these sections is actually not a section on a profile. Then down below, number 2, we've got which of these helps your LinkedIn profile show up in more searches. Awesome. I'll give you about 15 more seconds to finish it out. All right, let's take a look and see how everybody did. All right, looks like we've done a good job. So which of these sections is not on LinkedIn profile? References is the correct answer. Great job over there. Yeah, experience is something you can add. You can add your volunteer experience on there. And of course, we can add up to 100 skills on your profile. I recommend filling out as many as you can. Which of these helps your LinkedIn profile show up in more searches? Great job, everybody. Use keywords in your headline related to your skills and industry. Awesome. Very, very good job. So let's keep going with the presentation today. This is the part of the presentation I'm actually most excited for. So if you need to crack your knuckles and get in with it, let me know. So this is actually looking at LinkedIn as a job hunting tool and using it to the most of our ability. So on our LinkedIn jobs page, there's a couple of cool things that have been added in recent times. There's a couple of things that have been there for years now that people just don't exactly know how to use it. Hopefully today, as we jump in, you'll be able to see how we use LinkedIn to optimize our odds as we're hunting for jobs and make sure that we're seeing the most relevant information available to us. So choose your tool wisely. We've got tools for the right job. There's 3 main ways that we can find jobs in this platform. The first one is more of a basic use of the normal LinkedIn features. There's actually a recently released, I think it came out earlier this year, an AI beta tool that helps us write out a complete thought or a complete idea and then find jobs that way. And then there's a more advanced way that I think that it's only seems scary from the outside. If you're one of my computer science students, you're going to see this right off the top of your head. You're going to think, of course I can do that. If you're not one of my computer science students, you're actually going to learn a little bit of cool Boolean logic today, something that you may not have heard of before. I'll break it down really simple for you guys and show you a practical way that I actually use it on a regular basis. So basic searches. This is where you use keywords and filters to filter down the types of jobs that you want to see. So common filters that are used across multiple job sites are things like job type, location, salary, posted date, and then there's tons more based on the platform that you're on. On LinkedIn now, same with Handshake, you can actually filter out down to internships specifically, or if you're on Handshake, you can actually go to the job types and find specifically on-campus employment. That's an option that's on there that you don't often see on a platform like LinkedIn. So as we go through and we look at a basic job, it's real easy for us to find a position. So use keywords from your industry. Healthcare coordinator are two examples of a job title or even an industry that you might be able to find it in. So just in the chat, if somebody has an option here or has a second here and they want to throw out an idea, what's something that we can look up and see if we can find some postings in the Tyler, Texas area, or at least in the East Texas area for a job title. Throw some suggestions in there of what you want us to find today while I get over to my LinkedIn page. All right. Anybody want to throw out a job title, an industry type, anything along those lines? All right, I'm seeing UX design. Thank you, Veronica. Let's take a look at that. We'll look at project manager right after that, Margot. Thank you. Okay. Oh, got to go back to my platform. Here we go. So if I'm looking on the jobs page here, automatically it's going to split out some ideas based on the things that I put in the past, but I've already got it filtered down to Tyler, Texas. Let's see if there's anything in that UX design. I'm seeing a couple of remote positions that automatically pop up. Now, if I wanted to filter out those remote positions, one thing that I can do is go to my All Filters tab here. I can scroll all the way down here to my remote option. I can say I'm really looking at something in this area. Let's go on-site or hybrid, and let's look within, let's say, 100 miles. I've got 3 results here. So in Plano, I've got a UX-related position. Somewhere in here, it's talking about UX design. I've actually got a design lead role in the Dallas, Texas area, making bukus of money. It's an awesome role to be able to look at. And then I've got a user experience design for Chase, my home, for JP Morgan Chase, also in the Plano area. So looking at that job, I can see all the same information you guys can. Once again, I don't have that premium account, as you can see here in the top corner. Super easy for us to find a position. Now, I love that example that Margot just gave of a project manager. Let's use that example to try out the new job search option. So thinking about what that all tells us, this is a new platform where we've got an AI tool that's going to read an idea that I want to put out, and then it's going to take that and go with it. Of course, I can just type in project manager here at the top. When I see project manager there at the top, all I see is project manager related positions. I can filter it down to any location, use the same exact filters that I was looking at before. Under 10 applicants is a fun one to be able to see who hasn't applied for many of those roles. And then I can even find specific companies. So if I wanted to be a project manager, let's see if JMT is in the area hiring for a project manager. Certainly looks like it. We've got a couple of highway project manager roles in Longview and Tyler already, right? So you'll see here it added JMT, the company that I was talking about, with project manager here at the top of the page. Now, one of the ways that a lot of people have seen this is I have seen a lot of people who use this as an opportunity for them to say, I want to work as a project manager in, and then they'll add an industry. So maybe a project manager in IT. We can add IT there at the end. And I'll automatically see IT project manager positions open up here at the top of the page. Once again, I can filter those down by location and take a look at different things there. So this AI tool starts off with a sentence, starts off with a full idea. You can even put something in there kind of more abstract, like I want to work somewhere creative is the common example that you've seen. I think even from a YouTube advertisement that people might see. I see some creative director positions, creative strategist positions, copywriter and content specialist positions, all awesome fits for somebody who wants to work somewhere that values creativity. Now, one thing that doesn't work on here is negative prompts. So you'll see my example here. I don't want to work in a restaurant. So if I use that example of I don't want to work in a restaurant, it actually doesn't read the word don't. It doesn't do a good job of finding that. The key word that the AI is looking for is restaurant. And so look here, Chipotle, I've got a Circle K, I've got Cracker Barrel and McDonald's, I've got a baker, I've got a manager at McDonald's. I'm getting nothing but restaurants over here, right? So if you've put up here, I don't want to work in a restaurant, I don't want to work in healthcare, I don't want a sales job, guess what it's probably going to give you? Probably going to give you the thing that you were telling it not to look for. So I don't want to work in a sales job, sales, 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 sales. So only use positive things, things that you are looking for, things that are forward searching, not things that are trying to avoid a certain area. Avoid that negative language in there. All right, so just to briefly review that, let me go back to my presentation for you guys. Just to review, AI powered search, write out your thoughts. I want to earn this much. I want to work in a job where I can do this. Try to avoid those negative prompts. Otherwise, it'll give you exactly the opposite of what you're looking for. And then the last section of the last way that we can actually search, we've got to go back to our classic search, our classic job search, not the AI powered one, using some Boolean logic. Now, for Boolean logic, people who aren't familiar with it, basically what we're doing is we are closing out the options. We're saying, yes, I do want to look for this. No, I don't want to look for that. And we're giving it specific keywords to avoid or not to look at. So similar to what we were talking about earlier, I've got some options here that I can look at. That that AI powered search doesn't necessarily do. So if I'm looking for an exact phrase, let's say I'm specifically looking for a marketing manager, I can put in quotation marks and then I can see all the roles that fit that exact terminology. Uh, this is also just so for you guys to reference, it's both in the job description and also in the job title and can provide different concepts. So if I wanted to specifically work as a project manager in construction, I could do so. Or broadens the search. So not just a UX designer, but maybe also a graphic designer or a visual designer. I can put those in quotation marks and put that word or in between, and it'll give me options for both of those. And then I can use not to exclude terms. So if I'm sick of looking at sales or I'm sick of looking at internships or whatever it may be, I can put software engineer, not intern, software engineer, not sales. And of course, I can group these items together in parentheses. So let's take a look. I'm wanting another volunteer from our chat. Is there anybody who wants to give me who wants to jump in the chat real quick and answer some questions? Anybody? Veronica, thank you for your help last time. Does anybody want to do what Veronica just did and help me interact a little bit here? Anybody want to volunteer? Raise a hand, put an I'm in the chat, reach out to me, whatever you want to do. And if nobody jumps in, I'm going to ask somebody specifically from the chat and I'm going to ruin your day.
Michelle raised her hand.
Oh, perfect. Michelle, let's get you over here. Michelle, I'm going to open up your microphone and let you talk, okay? All right, Michelle Beal, right, Margot?
Yes.
Awesome. Michelle, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
We
I
can hear
you.
you. Awesome. Michelle, tell me, have you been using LinkedIn to look for jobs before?
I have actually. That's
Okay.
how I got my current job here at UT Tyler. So.
That's amazing. That's awesome to hear. So tell me, Michelle, as you are looking at options, as you're trying to figure out where you want to go, hopefully my screen share updates here. There we go. What sort of roles are you looking for? And what sort of roles are you sick of seeing on LinkedIn that you just can't get away from, it seems like?
So I'm a pharmacist by training, and I know
Okay.
myself and a lot of pharmacists are looking for jobs in the area that are not part of a chain or a retail setting. So maybe that would be in a hospital or a lab or different things like that. So to
Awesome.
clear out all of those retail or community pharmacist jobs.
What an awesome search. I think this is a cool example of how we can also use an AI tool because this is a really complex problem. It would probably take me 10 minutes to come up with the perfect Boolean search. But let's see if Copilot or any other tool that we have out there, you guys can feel free to use ChatGPT if you like. Let's see if it can help me generate a Boolean search for a LinkedIn job. I want to find pharmacist positions. Oh, let me make sure I spell things right. I want to find pharmacist positions that aren't retail or part of a chain. Let's see what it comes up with for us. So I'm looking for pharmacy. I don't want to work in a retail or a chain position. So automatically I get this option for what a nice complex Boolean search should look like. So pharmacist or clinical pharmacist or staff pharmacist, not in retail or community pharmacy or Walgreens or CVS or Rite Aid or Walmart or any of these normal chains that you might think would be offering that position. Another option that I add here, we already talked about this. If you're looking for specific sections like hospitals, clinics, or research, you could refine the search like this. I'm looking at hospital, clinic, health system, or research center. I like this second one a lot more. What do you think?
Yes, I
Sound good to
definitely
you?
agree.
All right, let's take a look then. So if I take this and I just copy and paste that up here into the top, I'm looking in the Tyler, Texas area. I'm seeing 3 options. Looks like all 3 of these are remote. Let's go to somewhere with a little bit more opportunity. Let's take a look at the Houston, Texas area where we have a lot of students right now. So I can see clinical pharmacist for a hospital. I can see mortgage health. I can see Herman Health System here and Optum in Pearl Land. So lots of different options outside of the Houston area and or in the Houston area that are more aligned with that health system, more aligned with that other side. Now, the next thing that I can do is, and you'll see here, I've got and hospital, clinic, or health system, or the research center. If I change this word not right here, and this is where it starts with the not retail side, and I change this to or I change this to and, whatever that may be, you're going to start seeing all of those retail related positions show up. So there's some Sam's Club positions. Let's see if there's a regular pharmacy that we're used to seeing over here. So you'll start seeing other positions that we did not ask for showing up on here, right? And if I change that to and, we'll actually get rid of all of those extra things that aren't related to pharmacy. I go to and here. Now it's looking for pharmacy positions in those fields. Looks like it's going to be, oh, I might have confused it. My Boolean logic has actually gone against itself. That is my fault. But you can see the example there of how we can turn that opportunity and say, I'm not looking at this, I am looking at that. Now, every day, I know you guys, we have some awesome nurses in here at UT Tyler. Every day, I use this tool to filter out those nursing options because a lot of my business students aren't looking for a nursing job. Either they're coming out of nursing to find something more in the healthcare sector, or they're doing something different instead. So I always use that not filter to go back and say, no LVN, no RN, no travel nurse. Let me see just the positions that are relevant to my students. So does that look like something that you could use, something pretty easy if you have this tool right here in front of you, Michelle?
Yep, absolutely. That would have been very helpful.
Yeah, so go in, say, ask those AI tools, hey, I need some Boolean logic here. I need you to come up with a search for me that'll take those options out. Deandra, I see your hand is raised. Did you want to help, or did you just have a quick question for me? Oh, it looks like she is actually not. Oh, there we go. Deandra, did you have anything real quick for me? All right, while she figures it out and gets back to me, I
Can you
want
hear me?
everybody. Oh, yes, I can hear you, Deandra. Go ahead and jump in.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so
That's okay.
I don't know if this is directly to guiding to my question is guiding to the
Sure.
LinkedIn, but I was wanting to know like if I'm searching for jobs or to get job opportunities, like before I do that, and if I wanted to help build my resume, like what would you recommend as far as like organizations to get in, like things I could do to like help build the
Yeah.
resume, like organizations I could get in if I'm an education major. What would
That's
you say would be really good organizations and different kind of social development organizations I could get in or recommend?
What an awesome question. So let's take a look here. One of the things I want to emphasize for you, Deandra, is in that section that we were talking about earlier on a LinkedIn profile, I can actually scroll down here and you'll see over here, I have some volunteering experience. I have other organizations that I've been a part of where I get to share experience that I've not had anywhere else. So if I find a nonprofit in the community that really has a heart for students, that has a heart for doing education, after school programs come to mind, or other areas around that, that I get to actually interact with the students that I'm wanting to teach someday, then that's an awesome opportunity to get in front of them, to gain some experience in how to work with those students, and then be able to actually put that on a resume, on a LinkedIn profile to stand out to an employer. As far as other organizations that you can join, I would reach out to your career coach or even go on Patriots Engage and see if there's any on-campus student success things that you could do, student organizations that you could be a part of. Nothing immediately comes to mind for me off the top of my head, but reach out to Pam Rodriguez. She's your career success coach in education and psychology. She's going to have bukus of information on what you could possibly do, and at the very least, she'd be a great sounding board to start brainstorming what you might be able to do next. And if you're available, here in 2 weeks, we have an education career fair where you can come out, education and psychology career fair, where you can come out and talk to employers in that area and ask them that question too. What did you do that got you into this field that maybe wasn't direct work experience that I could use while I'm here in school as well? So what are you seeing on resumes that really stands out to you? Who are those top players, those organizations that you might be a part of? Does that answer your question, Deandra?
Yes, it does. And you
Awesome.
just
Very good.
you go down to the bottom of your profile where it says volunteering.
Yeah, you can add that in there anytime that you like. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can add something right now. If I volunteered at the food bank tomorrow, I could put it right here.
Okay. Thanks.
You got it. Thank you, DeAndre, for an awesome question. I appreciate it. All right, so I do want to get to the end of today's presentation. We've got 15 minutes, and I want to make sure that you guys also have time to ask questions. So let's keep the ball rolling. I'm going to switch it back, and we can look. We actually just did this find a job exercise. We used that together. All right, the last piece of this is making connections. And guys, I think this is the most important and underused tool on the platform. So when we are making connections, there's some really, really great options out there for us. Let's jump back to that LinkedIn profile page. Here I am, and I see UT Tyler over here. It's not just an educational institution, but it's also my place of work. I'm actually an alumni from here, and I can adjust all that information. But if I go to the University of Texas at Tyler, oh, let me make sure I spell everything right. If I go to the University of Texas at Tyler, I can find that we actually have our own UT Tyler page on here. We make posts on a regular basis. We're highlighting alumni. We're talking about different things and events that are going on, talking about Trunk or Treat a few days ago. If you guys were able to go to that, it looked like a blast. But right here at the top of the page is this alumni button. Now, it's going to show you exactly what we're thinking about. This is showing me from that list of 39,000 alumni that have identified with UT Tyler, where they're working, what they're doing, where they live, all of those things. And what people don't realize is that these aren't just graphs. These aren't just measurements. These are filters. So I can say, I want to find people who work at Christus Trinity Mother Frances. I want to find people who live in the Tyler, Texas area. And I want to find people who maybe not aren't in that healthcare services area. Maybe they're in that program and project management area. And then if I scroll down here, finding people who are in Tyler, Texas, working for Christus Trinity Mother Frances, who are in the project and program management area, I've got names down here now. And each of these individuals you'll see I can connect with or follow. So let's say I was interested in connecting with Trudy. I can see that she's actually connected to a couple of people I am. She's got 40 people who are connected with me, who are also connected with Trudy. And I can go to her profile right now and take a look. So let's think about Trudy here. Trudy, she's not volunteered to be part of this. This is a public profile. I hope that she sees this and sees that all the great things that we're able to find on her profile. But I can learn about her and what she's doing. I can see what sort of post that she has going on. And I can not only see what's going on, but DeAndre, back to your point, what else has this person done? If that's the job title I want someday in that field, in that area, if they have my dream job, what have they done? Looks like she actually started as a course instructor. She's also been a sales representative. Before that, she was a director for some at-home support for a couple of years in the Tyler area at home. And then she found her full-time role. She's been there for 26 years, either as a registered nurse or as a program manager for patient experience at Christus Trinity Mother Frances. So even though I didn't want to go down the healthcare route, I actually ended up finding a registered nurse here instead. So maybe I should reconsider the route that I'm going down. I can see what education she actually got from UT Tyler. Looks like she has her healthcare administration MBA, as well as her Bachelor of Science in Nursing. And she's got some certifications on here as well. So a bunch of cool things that you can do learning about that profile. I'm going to go ahead and connect without a note, but you can always send a note saying, hey, I noticed that we're both connected to this person. I would love to connect someday, maybe even get a cup of coffee, reach out and just say, hey, great to connect with you. Any of those are totally viable. And if you're not sure what to write down, you can always go to an OpenAI tool. You can go to Copilot and say, hey, I want to send a message and I don't want to sound weird or awkward, and I already feel weird and awkward doing this networking thing. What would you say to somebody in this role if you're interested in getting into that? It'll give you a great response that you can start with, and then you can write it and make it your own voice. So I'm going to go ahead and connect with Trudy. We'll see if she actually is able to connect with me here pretty soon. So the next thing I can do, maybe not starting with UT Tyler as an option, but maybe I've got a dream job with a company that I've always wanted to work for. Here in the East Texas area, we've got some awesome employers. We've got Brookshires, we've got Christus, we've got Cavenders. We've got a lot of East Texas native companies out here. Let's go through and let's see who we can find who's working at Cavenders right now, who is at a UT Tyler alumni. So the way I do that is by searching up Cavenders, going to their employer page, going down here to the people option. So similar to the alumni button, I can go to any organization that has a LinkedIn page here. I can go to that people option. Once again, these aren't graphs. These are filters. Where they studied, University of Texas at Tyler. this might be my in. This might be my opportunity to get my foot in the door. I can start seeing people who have worked at UT, who have been to UT Tyler, who currently work at Cavender's in all sorts of roles. So a buyer, somebody who buys all that leather that they need for all their boots. I see some data integration, some IT representatives who are over there. I see a merchandising analyst named Michael. For those of you who don't know Michael, I'm actually connected with him. He's a UT Tyler alumni who used to work in the University Center. Awesome guy, great experience that he's got. And he came from a student position, just like a lot of students who work here on campus, and made his way up all the way to this merchandising analyst at Cavender's with some awesome experience and skills added in his tagline as well. So I can find an employer, hunt down that person who I'm interested in finding, and then reach out to them and say, hey, in a message, I'd love to learn more about how you got to work at Cavender's. Is there any chance we could stop, have a coffee, meet on Zoom, have a phone call, anything like that in my journey? If you guys have questions about navigating this, if you have any issues with going through this, all of our career success coaches are in the chat today. They'll probably watch the recording after we get done too, right, guys? And you can meet with your career success coach and say, hey, how did Brian do this the other day? They'd be happy to show you. So use this opportunity that we have here. This is an incredible tool that we can use to connect with people who are outside of our industry, our current industry, maybe in a company that we want to work for, or they're an alumni who started right where you guys are right now as students, and they're going to be able to connect you with opportunities in the future. Remember that statistic I said earlier, 80 to 85. That's a pretty number, I know, but more than half of the jobs that we're seeing that are being filled are through people that we can connect with, through individuals who work there. And that's where it's probably great to start. As soon as we're done here today, I'm probably going to come back in here and I'm going to see if I can connect with some of these guys over at Cavender's to make sure that we've got some awesome opportunities for you guys, for the students over here on our side of career success. So that's pretty much everything that I've got for today. Let me make sure before I forget, go back to my slideshow and see. Yeah, in conclusion, guys, building a powerful profile is key. 40% times more likely to have a complete or to find a job with a complete profile than without one. Keep it positive, keep it polite, keep it professional as you're interacting on the platform. Search strategically, use those Boolean logic tools that I showed you, or just keyword and focus down those filters so that you're finding the right opportunities. And I would say your odds of finding success go up exponentially if you apply within the first 3 days of a job being posted. So search regularly, search every 3 or 4 days, and make sure that you are searching strategically, looking for things in your field. Make impactful connections. Go to those profile pages, go to those alumni and those people pages on those companies and from our university, and start making those awesome connections today. And then involve your career success coach. If you're stuck, if you don't know where to go next, set up that appointment. We are here to serve you guys. We are a resource that you guys have already paid for through your student fees. Not using us is just throwing away money. And we help students every day be able to find success. So let us know how we can help. Get us involved as early as possible. So thank you guys. I'm going to open up the floor. If you guys have any thoughts, questions, anything like that that I can help with, feel free, raise a hand, put it in the chat, put it in the Q&A, and we can go from there. So I'm opening it up here for the next 5 minutes. Anybody who has a question, a final thought, a concern, anything like that that I can help with. It can be about anything we learned today from LinkedIn. It can be outside of that, like Deandra's awesome question of how to get involved, anything that you would want a career success coach to answer. All right. I'm not seeing anything, so I'm going to guess that we've done an awesome job here today, guys. If you have those follow-up questions, if you're on the way home, jump in, shoot me an email, let me know. I'm happy to help. If you're not sure where to find our information, you can always go to our Career Success website and find everything there. Just look up Career Success on the UT Tyler webpage and you can get there. If you want a copy of this presentation after, shoot me an email. I'm happy to send it out to you guys. If you checked in, I'll be sure to send you guys an email that thanks you for being here. But I want to thank you right here in person while I've got you. Thank you guys for being here. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your Friday tomorrow and your weekend after that. Thanks again, guys.